Basic timer. Generally, timer provides the timing reference to the embedded system operations. If you look at the block diagram of the timer, it contains pre-scaler which resources from internal oscillator and convert that clock signals into the desired clock frequency by dividing with the corresponding digital number. Means, suppose if internal oscillator generates the 25 kilohertz signal, but we want only 5 kilohertz signal, at that time the 25 kilohertz signal is dividing with the 5. So finally we are getting 5 kilohertz signal. Like that, the prescaler generates the desired frequency signal by dividing the internal clock signal with the corresponding number. Next, n-bit timer. It contains the timer register that contains the bits which are related to enable the timer, stop the timer, start the timer, up count or down count. Next, it contains the capture and compare registers to capture the current count value and different registers. So first we need to enable the timer. Once timer is enabled, that is loading with the desired time count, how much time how many cycles you want, that will be loaded. Then that is comparing with the current count. If both are equal, corresponding operation will be, means timer will be expired. So see here, a standard timer will contains the compromise a prescaler, n-bit timer register, and one or more n-bit capture and compare registers. This n-bit may be either 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit capture and compare registers. So this prescaler, it contains the prescaler. It takes the basic timer clock frequency as the input and divide this clock frequency by some value depending upon the circuit requirements before feeding it to the timer. Means which generates the desired signal by dividing the input signal with the corresponding value. Next, timer register. This timer register is a n-bit up counter which has accessibility of read and write commands for the current count value and to stop or reset the counter. The timer is driven by the prescaler output. The regular pulses which drive the timer are often called ticks. So the timer resources from the internal oscillator that is scaled with the prescaler, means which generate the desired frequency signal. Prescaler generates the desired frequency signal by dividing the input signal coming from internal oscillators and generates the desired signal. Next, this timer register contains the n-bit count. It is a n-bit counter. It has the accessibility of read and write commands for the current count value or stop or reset the counter. It is operated by using the prescaler output. These regular pulses which drive the timer called ticks. Next, capture register. Capture means capturing the information. So it captures the current information. What is the current count value? The capture registers are used to load with the current count value upon the occurrence of some event. Usually a change on the input pin. It will count continuously. Therefore, the capture register is used to capture a snapshot of the timer at the instant when the event occurs. Compare or match registers. This holds a value against which the current timer value is routinely compared and shoots to trigger an event when the value in two register matches. So it compares the current value with the desired value. If both are equal, corresponding task will be occurred. Next, watchdog timer. So timer means provide the timing reference. So watch means continuously monitoring the some devices. So here we are monitoring the embedded system. So continuously which monitor the system for particular time period for every 10 seconds or for every 32 milliseconds. With the watchdog timer monitor the system. It is working in the desired manner or not. So watchdog timer is a timer which continuously desired monitor the system which is working in the desired manner or not. So watchdog timer is used to regain control when a system has failed due to software error or failure of the external device to respond in the expected way. If any problem occurs, it will generate the reset signal. So which can generate the non-maskable interrupts on the after interrupt occurs. In the first timer account expires, it will generate the interrupt. In the second time time count expires, generate the non-maskable interrupts. So generally this TM4C123 GH6PM contains two watchdog timers. One is WDT0, that means watchdog timer 0. Second one is watchdog timer 1. Totally two watchdog timers. So this watchdog, if you look at the circuit, this watchdog timer contains which resources from the input signal is coming from the system clock or precision in oscillator. The watchdog timer input is coming from the system clock or precision oscillator, and it contains the control register which controls the watchdog timer. Controlling in the sense which generate the interrupt signal or non-maskable interrupt signal or interrupt raw interrupt status, masked interrupt status, watchdog timer lock, watchdog timer test, and watchdog timer count value, and it contains the down counter, 32-bit down counter to capture the current value, and comparator, compare the current count value with the 0 means it expires or not, and the watchdog timer value, this current value is giving to the control register. So this is the circuit. Watchdog timer circuit contains the control register, watchdog timer load register, counter, comparator, watchdog timer value. So first we need to enable the watchdog timer. By using RN bit, we can enable the watchdog timer. Then we are giving the clock pulses to the watchdog timer. So which watchdog timer resources from system clock or precision oscillator. Next, watchdog timer load with watchdog timer load register is loading with the desired count value. So in case of TM4C123 GH6PM, that load value is 32 milliseconds. 32 milliseconds. So that load value is loading into the watchdog timer load. Next, that is loading into the down counter, 32-bit down counter. This watchdog timer load value is loading into the 32-bit down counter. So each time the count will be reduced. Whenever that value, each time comparing with the 0, whenever this count value becomes 0, it gives a signal to the control register. If it is first time count value 0 means it generates the interrupt signal. Then generates the interrupt signal. Again it loading with the watchdog timer value. Then again count will be continuous. Again whenever the value becomes 0, this value gives to the control register. Whenever second time the count expires, it generates the non-maskable interrupt. So while counting this one, we can load our desired value anytime. So whenever you are loading that one, at that time onwards, it load into the counter again. It will count from this load value. So before loading the value, we need to configure the watchdog timer. So it enable the interrupts, raw interrupt enable, mask interrupt enables. Once after first time count expires, this will be enabled. Next, once log that one, it is not possible to modify the watchdog timer register. So by giving value 1 to this one, we can log the watchdog timer configuration. Like that, this watchdog timer will be working. Watchdog timer continuously monitor the system, means periodically for every 32 milliseconds. In case of the TM4C123 GH6PM, for every 32 milliseconds, the system is worked in the desired manner or not. So for that, what we are doing, we are giving some count value. If the count value expires, that means, so before expiring the watchdog timer, we are resetting the watchdog timer to avoid the reset the system. If the system is working proper, means that count value will be cleared before expires. If it is not, if the embedded system is not working, means, so it is not clear, automatically the time count, watchdog timer count value expires, automatically it gives the value, generates the interrupt signal first time. Once interrupt occurs, it will again load into the count value, and then again same, again it will check, again it will not clear watchdog timer load value, it will generate the reset signal. Like that, it will monitor the system continuously. Check here. So watchdog timer module generates first timeout signal when 32-bit counter reaches the 0 state after being enabled. Enabling the counter also enables the watchdog timer interrupt. So watchdog timer interrupt can be programmed to be a non-maskable interrupt using the interrupt type bit in the watchdog timer control register. If the interrupt type bit value is 0, means that is normal interrupt. If value 1 means that is non-maskable interrupt. After the first timeout event occurs, the 32-bit counter is reloaded with the value of the watchdog timer load register, and the timer resumes counting down from that value. Once the timer is configured, that is locked by using this watchdog timer lock register. By giving 1 to this one, we are giving 1 to the watchdog timer lock, that will be locked, which prevents the timer configuration from being inadvertently altered by software counting. Because of any software problem, it can be modified. To avoid the modification of this configuration, we are using the lock by giving 1 to the watchdog timer lock register. So if the timer counts down to its 0 state again before first timer cleared, and the reset signal has been enabled by setting the reset enable bit in the watchdog timer control register. The watchdog timer sets its reset signal to the system. If the interrupt is cleared before the 32-bit counter reaches its second timeout, the 32-bit counter is loaded, the value in the load register, and counting resumes from that value. So if watchdog timer is written with a new value, while the watchdog timer is counting, the counter is loaded with the new value and continues. Writing to watchdog timer load does not clear any active interrupts. We are giving some count value, 32 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds, whatever the period, that depends upon the clock signal. An interrupt must be specifically cleared by writing the watchdog interrupt clear. Watchdog interrupt clear. By giving 1 to this one, the interrupt will be cleared after first interrupt occurs. The watchdog module interrupt and reset generation can be enabled or disabled as required. When the interrupt is re-enabled, the counter is preloaded with the load register value and not its last state. The watchdog timer is disabled by default out of reset. To achieve maximum watchdog protection of a device, the watchdog timer can be enabled at the start of the vector. If you want to provide the security to the system, we can enable the watchdog timer. So how we are configuring? So to use watchdog timer, its peripheral clock must be enabled by setting the RN bit in the watchdog timer run mode clock getting control register. This all theory is for the purpose of examination point of view only. Operation is same, whatever we are discussed in the previous block diagram. Same explanation, examination point of view purpose, I am giving this theory. So first, load the watchdog timer register using the desired timer load value. Next, if watchdog timer 1, wait for the WRC bit, means reset the signal bit in the watchdog timer control register to be set. If the watchdog is configured to trigger the system resets, set the reset enable bit in the control register. If you want to enable the reset signal, you need to give 1 to this one. If the watchdog timer 1, wait for the watchdog timer reset bit in the control register to be set. Set the interrupt enable bit in the watchdog timer control register to enable the watchdog and enable the interrupts and lock the control register. If software requires that all of watchdog timer registers are locked, the watchdog timer module can be fully locked by writing any value to the watchdog timer lock register. To unlock this one, we are giving 0. To service the watchdog, periodically reload the count value into the watchdog timer load register to restart the count. The interrupt can be enabled by using the enable bit in the control register to allow the processor to attempt corrective action if the watchdog is not serviced often enough. The reset enable bit in watchdog timer control register can be set so that the system resets if the failure is not recoverable using the interrupt service routine. See here, watchdog timer load register. It is a 32-bit register, 0 to 31. We can load the watchdog timer value. So the register 32-bit interval value used by the 32-bit counter. When this register is written, the value is immediately loaded and the counter restarts counting down from the new value. If the watchdog timer register is loaded with 0, an interrupt is immediately generated. If the watchdog timer load value is 0 means interrupt will generate. Otherwise, whatever the value we are loading, corresponding thing, it will be decremented. This is the watchdog timer load register. Next, watchdog timer value register. WGT value. Watchdog timer value register. This is 32-bit registers. Here it will capture the current watchdog timer count value. It takes the current watchdog timer count value. It contains the current value of the 32-bit down count. It contains current value of the 32-bit down count. Next, control register. So if you look at the control register, first 3 bits and 31 bit are defined. Remaining are reserved for future purpose. First bit interrupt enable bit. Interrupt enable bit. By default, if you look at the first, this is WRC, reset clear bit. 0 means you have write access to one of the watchdog timer register is in progress. 1 means a write access is not in progress, and watchdog timer 1 registers can be read or written. Means, so by default, this will be is in writing progress. We are not accessing. So this bit is reserved for watchdog timer 0 and has a reset value of 0. Next, 3 to 30 bits are reserved. Next, interrupt type. 0 means standard interrupts, 1 means non-maskable interrupt. Next, reset enable. If you want to enable the reset bit, this value becomes 1. Watchdog timer reset enable. Next, interrupt enable. So 0 means interrupt event is disabled. If you want to enable the interrupts, this value 1. Interrupt event enable. Once enabled, all writes are ignored. Setting this bit enable the watchdog timer. Next, watchdog timer lock. Writing 1A CCE 551 to the watchdog timer lock register enables write access to all other registers. Enables write access to the all other registers. Writing any other value to the watchdog timer lock register re-enables the locked state for register writes to all other registers, except for the watchdog timer test register. The locked state will be enabled after 2 clock cycles. Reading the watchdog timer lock register returns the locked status rather than the 32-bit value written. Therefore, when write access are disabled, reading the watchdog lock register returns 1. General locking means our home will be locked like that. Watchdog timer registers will be locked by giving 1 to the watchdog timer lock value 1. 0 means disabled. So see this one. This is a 32-bit register. So by giving 1, we can lock the all watchdog timer registers. 0 means unlocked.